We're back for Tuesday's drills, starting off with a sip of the brew. And we're going to do what we did yesterday. We're going to get the irons out. As I've said, my iron game is not the best at the moment. I'm going over the ball. It's offsetting to the left. I really want to try and fix it. I'm putting it down to my grip more than anything. So I'm really going to try and consistently do some iron work. Focus on holding the club in a better position for me. So I don't open the face too much, or I don't close the face too much. So as you'll see here, I'm just taking my time, really just kind of feel that grip, to know that that is the grip. And then again, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be taking the swings nice and slowly, get that nice exercise warm up done, so that I'm not going to pull anything and I can start getting a bit more fluent with it. And with this exercise, I'm really trying to get the body used to that swinging motion with the irons, and I'm trying to hit the ground. I want to be able to commit more to really getting under the ball, getting the loft of the club and, using it to its advantage, getting that ball as far as possible and in a straight line. That is what's going to help me, get to the green a lot quicker and put me in a better position. I'm also making sure that I am going to change the club as well. I don't want to be too biased. Started off with the 7, as I feel like with the shorter clubs, I'm not too bad at the moment. They're quite relatable to wedges. So start off with the 7, moving down to the 6, get that longer club, that longer shaft. And again, just do the same drills, commit to hitting the ground, where the ball would be. And again, holding the grip. It's going to be a bit different for each club, as you need more space. So again, I want to be able to replicate that on all of my clubs. To keep it as realistic as possible as well, to imitate an actual game, I'm going to drop down. Rather than go to the 5, I'm going to go to the 4. Again, when you're playing, you wouldn't periodically go down each club. You might have to jump a few. So I've gone for the 4 iron, the longer shaft. And again, I'm just going to do the same thing. Commit to hitting the ground where the ball would be, so that I get under that ball and just get used to that muscle memory of the grip. Going into the putting drills now, and here we've got just some stats on my average putts per round. So the last 6, shooting from 40 to 44 putts per round. Really want to try and get that down. So I've set up an exercise here where each golf ball represents a foot. So starting at 1 foot, going to 4, and I've just got to hit the ball from each one into the apparatus, and in the apparatus itself, it has a little hole. When you hit the ball right, it will land in the hole, and that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming to sink it. It does return, and it would represent, getting the distance, but we want to sink it before we move on to the next one. And we're just going to make our way to 4 foot, and then we're going to make our way back down. So we should see now that the golf putts that we've done there, it should look something like a triangle. You know, as the holes get further apart, it should progressively get harder to do. Then obviously as I'm coming back in, get easier. And that's what we can see here. Apart from on the third foot, it seems like we've got a bit of luck. But just like to say thanks for watching.